Hello everyone. Today we are going to study about unit number 4 of the syllabus of BBA part 2 of Human Resource Management. Unit number 4 comprises of performance and potential appraisal, merit rating and executive development. In my previous class, in a previous lecture, we have dealt or I have explained and discussed with you the concept of performance appraisal, the purpose, objectives, and the importance of performance appraisal, the process through which we do performance appraisal in the organization, the essentials for an effective performance appraisal system in an organization, and the basic criteria for performance appraisal in an organization, or what are the basic measurement contents through which we evaluate or we measure the performance of an individual employee in an organization. Today, in today's lecture, we are going to discuss in detail the different methods and techniques of performance appraisal being used in the organization. See students, first of all, I would like to tell you that I have listed here certain techniques which have been classified into traditional methods as well as modern methods. It is not that we have to use any one technique only in an organization for the purpose of performance appraisal. The techniques being listed here in the traditional methods as well as in the modern methods, we can use any number of techniques to measure the performance of the individuals or the employees in the organization. We can use a wide variety of combinations, such as in an organization, we can use the confidential report as well as the 360-degree appraisal system. We can use the confidential report, critical incident method, as well as human resource accounting method. So any number of combinations and permutations can be used to make a combination for using or for measuring the performance of the individuals in the organization. So you should not get confused that if in a company confidential is made, none other methods will be used. A company can have its own policy depending upon the level on which an employee is working. He can use any number of techniques to measure the performance and to do the performance appraisal of the employees. So now we come to the main topic, that is the methods and techniques of performance appraisal. In the methods and techniques of performance appraisal, we have classified these methods into basic two parts, traditional methods and the modern methods. Traditional methods are the older methods which have been still being used. This is basically as per the chronology that in the previous times, confidential reports were made. Still, in certain organizations and in government companies, these confidential reports still play a role, as well as in the modern organizations also. So, in the oldest of the times, only confidential report was there. Then comes essay evaluation, objective measures, and this is basically in the chronological order. So, we'll first start discussing with the traditional methods. The first traditional method of performance appraisal is confidential report. It is a confidential report is basically, you can find this method in government organizations. This report is prepared by the employee's immediate supervisor. It covers a limited range of aspects like the subordinate strength, weaknesses, major achievements or failures, and the information on some of its personality traits. So basically, the supervisor will write a report about the behavior, about the strengths and weaknesses, and the achievements of his subordinates. On the basis of this method basically focuses on evaluating rather than developing the employee. The format and pattern of the report is almost uniform in all the government offices across India. Then comes the next method, which is essay evaluation. Essay evaluation, or it is also known as free form evaluation. It is also similar to this confidential report. Here also the difference that is, here in the confidential report, the supervisor is writing the report about the subordinate. In essay evaluation, the subordinate himself is writing an essay about his own strengths and weaknesses, his achievements, his personality words in his own words. Basically, he has to the employee himself has to devote considerable time and thought to writing his own analysis. The person or the employee is like he's like writing his own diary, and he has to keep on writing the things and about the critical incidents that happened, or the achievements, or the problem solving skill where he has showed. So it is like that the person himself has to analyze his own working and has to write this report. Next comes the objective measures. These are like easiest thing I can say for doing the performance appraisal. In objective measures, we assess the performance in terms of numbers, such as the amount of product an employee has produced. If he is into manufacturing, how much he has produced, or if he is into sales, that how much, how many products has a person sold. So there are basically 5 types of objective measures through which we do this kind of measurement. Production measurement, that is how much you have produced. Amount of sales, your personal data. Your personal data includes the number of times an employee has been absent or late, or the number of times there has been like he has been punctual, or he has been given certain achievement awards or certain things like that. Then are the performance test and the business unit performance measures. So these include basically the stock price, return on equity, profitability, etc. So these are the objective measures that I have discussed, that basically how much you have performed. In the basically we can say in the quantitative way, we are basically measuring in the objective measures, we are measuring the quantitative achievement of the individuals or the employees in the organization. The fourth method in the traditional methods of performance appraisal is the ranking method. Ranking method, basically, as we have seen in the schools also, we used to get ranks: first rank, second rank, third rank. So what really happens in that ranking method? All the students in the class are compared on the basis of how much marks they have secured, or in an examination or in a test. The person, so it is like a comparative analysis. The person who has achieved the highest marks out of all the students will be ranked as first. It is not dependent upon how much marks he is getting. It is upon how much marks in comparison to others. So this basically, this ranking method system uses multi-person comparison, which formally compares one person's performance with that of the other people. So in this way, as you can easily understand, with the way we do ranking in the schools and colleges when the tests are taken, in the same way the ranking method is run. The performance of the employees are evaluated, and then they are given the points or the ranks. Then the person who has the best rank or the first rank will be given maximum appraisal. Then the second rank person will be given a less appraisal. Third will be given further less. That ways we do the ranking method of evaluation. The fourth method here is critical incident method. Under this method, what the supervisor does is, the supervisor keeps a record of the positive and negative examples of a subordinate's work-related behavior. Whenever an employee has exhibited certain very positive aspects of his behavior related to work, the superior will note that down. And at the same time, if a person's behavior was very negative in certain times, he'll note that too. And then every 6 months or so, the supervisor and subordinate will meet together to discuss the performance of the subordinate, using the incidents as examples, that in that particular time you exhibited such behavior. Why do you have to do such things? So the evaluator has to keep a log for each employee. That is why it becomes difficult. For every single employee, you have to maintain that register kind of a thing. The evaluator records the behavior and performance incidents that are particularly effective or ineffective. Everything, whatever is effective, whatever is ineffective, you have to keep a record of everything. So basically, then it becomes a bit difficult and a challenge and challenging for the supervisors also to note down all those things and to keep a, and then he has to be such a great monitoring agent that he is monitoring all the time his employees to note down all these things. Then at the end of the evaluation period, this register is used to evaluate the performance of the employee. So this method also basically helps in justifying or defending the company in legal issues also. Whenever a person files a suit against the company, then we can show this log or this register that the person has done certain things like this positively or negatively. That's why we have given the appraisal or not given the appraisal, that ways. Now the next method is behavioral checklist. In the checklist, what we do is, we means the evaluator, he uses a behavioral descriptions and take those behaviors that apply to the employee. Checklist basically is like, what we do is that, are the supervisor's order usually followed? Yes or no? So if we see that the employee follows the orders of the superior, we'll take yes. If he is not, we'll take no. Does the individual approach customers promptly? How well does he behave with the customers? How is the customer's response towards this employee? So such kind of behavioral aspects are being judged by the use of this checklist. Then in this checklist, every answer is given some marks or some weightage. The total is then calculated, and on the basis of that total, again, that rating is made. As we have seen in this ranking method, we then rate the employees in comparative order, and then they are given their appraisal. So that is about the behavioral checklist. After a behavioral checklist, another method is graphic rating scale. Graphic rating scale basically is used, it is, we can say, like a bit of a modern method. In this graphic rating scale also, we evaluate the points to each employee, and then we make a graph, the comparative graph, that what was the performance ranking of an employee in the past year and his performance ranking this year. So we compare the performance of the employee from its past performance. And so if it shows growth, then it is a positive thing. If it is not showing growth, or if it is stagnant also, then the improvisation methods are being employed. Another method, or the last method that we are going to discuss here in traditional method, is the field review method. In this field review method, what we usually do is that the line officers do not themselves fill up the rating form. Instead, representatives of the personnel department come to the shop floor and interview the supervisors to obtain the pertinent information about the employees. The interviewer asks questions and takes detailed notes on the answers given by the supervisors. So basically what they're doing is, they're interviewing the people from the HR department. They'll go to your workplace and talk to your supervisor about you. They'll ask question answers about you. And then they'll analyze your behavior and your work performance. And accordingly, the rating and the ranking will be made about you. So these are the traditional methods. As you must have observed, in all these methods, no complex tests have been used. Very simple methods, very subjective methods are used in the traditional methods. Now we come to the modern methods of performance appraisal. In these modern methods, we are going to discuss here these 6 types or techniques. The first is behaviorally anchored rating scale. We usually say it as BARS, BARS. This method has been produced by combining major elements from the critical incident method and the graphic rating scale. So basically it is a combination of what? Critical incident and the graphic rating scale. In critical incident method also, if you remember, we are trying to find out the behavior of the person both in the positive and negative sense. And in the graphic rating scale, we are comparing the behavior and the performance of the individual from his past performance. So in this behaviorally anchored rating scale, what we do, we measure the behavior of the person and compare it with his past behavior also. So in this way, in this BARS method, we carefully analyze the job. These scales specify the definite observable and measurable job behavior. We make a chart about what should be the behavior of a person in the organization, work-related behavior, and then we check that is the employee exhibiting the same behavior or not. This is how we are making the behavioral anchored rating scale. And then it provides a common frame of reference for the evaluators due to clear definition of dimensions in the critical incidents. Then the second is behavioral observation scale. In this observation scale, what we are doing, it is also similar to the BARS. Observation scale में difference क्या आता है यहाँ पे? What difference it really makes is, here we take the scale as from almost never to almost always. You must have seen certain, you must have filled certain what we can say Google forms or some where the checklist where you are asked the questions and you have to fill the answers from one rating from 1 to 5, where 1 means never and 5 means always. So same ways, the behavior of the individuals are assessed on this scale, observation scale. And here we are just the supervisors will be observing the behavior of the employees or the subordinates, and then they will be filling on the basis of their observation of the employees. The employees will not be asked the questions. I'm not going to the employee to ask, okay, what is your behavior in such situation? No, we are going to observe his behavior in different incidents and we'll mark the answers. Then comes assessment center assessment center methods. Under this method, what we do is a group of employees is drawn from different work units, and then they work together on an assignment. We basically make a group of employees from different places or different work units, and then we give a common assignment to all these people together. The evaluators now, what they do is they'll observe and rank the performance of all the employees. The employees are evaluated both individually and collectively by using simulation techniques like role playing, business games, in-basket exercises, etc. So using this method, what we are trying to judge is the job related characteristics, that how the employees are working under pressure, how the employees perform when they work with the people they don't know, with the people they haven't worked before. So it basically, the qualities generally evaluated are the interpersonal skills of the employees, the communicating ability, your ability to plan and organize with the strangers. So these all things we are trying to assess, because these are the qualities that are required in the employees for the success of the organization. Then comes appraisal through MBO. MBO, as we know, management by objectives. This is also like one of the objective measures. In MBO, what we do is the organizational objectives are converted into the objectives, the company's objectives are converted into the individual objectives in that MBO approach. So some organizations, what they do is they treat goal setting as part of the appraisal process. How many objectives have you achieved? How have you helped in achievement of the organizational goals and objectives? So the superior and subordinates basically get together and jointly discuss and modify and reach an agreement regarding the specific goals, duties, and the areas. The key performance areas or the key result areas are also decided in advance through joint effort. So in this method, what we are really doing is we are creating emphasis on result-oriented employees. That what are the objectives you want to set for yourself, and how you're going to help in achieving the organizational objectives. So in this method, it assists the planning and controlling function and provides motivation also to employees that I am the part of the planning process. In this way, they get a bit of motivation. Then comes the next process or the next method, that is 360-degree appraisal. As the name itself suggests, 360-degree means all over the place. Your appraisal, this is like one of the very recent trends also in the appraisal or the feedback system. In this method, what we do is the feedback is obtained of an employee from its subordinates, from its peers, from its supervisors, and every other level of employee that is involved with you. So in this method, what we basically do is the HR department will take your feedback. Suppose you are the employee whose feedback or whose appraisal is supposed to be done. Then I'll take your feedback from your subordinates, from your superiors, from your own peer members or your colleagues, and also from the employees who are anyhow working with you from different departments or from other levels also. So I'm trying to take, in fact, from the customers and from the suppliers also. So we are trying to take your feedback from everywhere. In fact, a self-appraisal form is also being filled by you. So you're going to fill your own self-appraisal form. Your supervisor is going to write a report about you. And then we are going to take the feedback from your supervisor, your subordinates, your peer members, from the customers, from other people also. From everywhere, we are going to take report about you and then decide upon how much appraisal you are supposed to be given. And then comes the last method, that is human resource accounting method. Now, competent and well-trained employees, as we all know, are a valuable asset of any organization. So this asset can be measured in terms of money. So human resource accounting, as the name itself suggests, we are going to keep an account of something. So when well-recruited and developed employees leave the company, the financial assets are decreased due to their higher productivity. The company is deprived of their contributions. So under this method, what we do is performance is judged in terms of cost and financial gain. How much financial gain you are giving to the company? Or we can say, how much cost does the company incur while you having in the company? So that ways they assess that this is the cost. Like cost kya ho sakti hai? Cost is the salary that they are paying to you and the other perks that they are paying to you. And then they'll be assessing the gain, financial gain by you, that how much you are able to affect the sales or the profitability of the company. So if the profitability side is higher, then you will be given good appraisal. And if the cost is higher of hiring you rather than the profitability, then your performance appraisal is not good. So these are certain methods and techniques of performance appraisal. This is how we collect the information or we collect the data about the performance of the employees in an organization, and then we evaluate it by all these methods. Different combination of methods are used, reports are being made, accounting is being done, behavioral scales are used, assessment centers are made. So different combinations are taken care of while judging or while preparing the performance appraisal report of the employees. So I hope this video will be helpful to you in understanding the concept of different performance appraisal methods and techniques. So thank you very much. We'll meet you soon in another lecture. Thank you.